Good morning. I'm here to give a little bit of a testimony of last Sunday. I was asked if I needed any assistance around the home, and I was on the original planning committee for this with the stewardship, and I did not want to say anything, but I was later approached and asked if I needed anything, and I was thrilled that I was chosen to have someone come out and do some work with me because I had some problems that I did not know how to do. For instance, I had 5 holes in my ceiling caused by bees. And when we dug into 4 of these bee holes, we had huge nests. I think Wayne Alexander, who helped out there, can attest to that. If it wasn't for John Keach, who knows a little bit about drywall, I wouldn't have had any of this work done at this time. I would have hired someone to come in and do that because I have no knowledge. My grandfather was a master carpenter. I did not get these genes. My brother did, but he doesn't live around here. So the team went through and they cut the holes all out so that they could put the wallboard in. And it was just amazing, really, how fast that really went. We're not done. We're not done because I've only got 1 coat of the mud, as John calls it, or the plaster caulking, whatever it is. He's going to be coming back out and put 2 more coats on, and then he's coming out a 3rd time to sand it all down and paint all of that. But right now, I don't have plastic bags covering up these holes. I've got the full ceiling in now. In addition to that, there were 6 of us, 3 adults and 3 children, who worked out in my backyard trimming bushes. And Patty Sanderson was there, Hillary Tisdale and her 2 children. Wayne's son was out helping. And we really got a lot of the bushes trimmed way back, and then we discovered that the base of these bushes were rotted. We've taken out 1. I've got the other one yet to go. But it's a start because now I can hopefully be able to do some stuff from time to time during these nice cool days that we're going to have. And so I was just thrilled to have this team out and help out, and it was really great. I recommend it. So I really do. Thank you.
I represent the crew that went out to do the help to Mary Holly's house. And that help would be to clean out her 20 by 40 foot garage of stuff and to repair a couple doors that didn't quite close correctly. So when you're asked to do something, and you know a little bit about tools and so forth, you ask yourself, well, what do you bring? Well, you pretty much bring everything you own. Yeah, someone says, well, you fix my door. Well, what is that? It doesn't quite close. That can range from broken hinges to warped doors to warped frames to who knows what it is. So I brought enough tools to build a new door with that expectation. Anyway, we had Al, and we had Kathy Keish out there. We had, let's see, I'm going to forget somebody. We had Zoe, and we had Ed in the back. And Mary had, not to embarrass Mary at all, because a lot of us have garages that are full of stuff. Well, Mary, I don't think has cleaned out her garage completely in years and years and years. So we discovered all kinds of books that had to be packed up and put in boxes. So a couple people worked on that. Al and we started out repairing her 2 doors that wouldn't close properly. And Al was doing such a good job that I kind of stepped back 15 paces and disappeared. So he continued fixing the doors. And Sid was there, and we were carrying junk out to the road. And we come across something that was quite interesting. I'm a follower of the Untouchables. And, that's a crew of government agents. And you're all aware of the Untouchables. There's enough people old enough here to know what the Untouchables are. So anyway, I was watching this program, and Elliot Ness, of course, he's the chief tracker down of criminals. And Al Capone, is in the north side of Chicago. And this era took place in the early 30s. So they had some pretty old cars at that time. Well, they were new at that time, but in our day and age, they were old antique cars. So in this garage, we were cleaning out, we found this collapsible, like a child gate with the X's on it, so you can expand it out and close it up and so forth. Got some clamps on it. We were all saying, well, what is this thing? And it ranged from a baby gate to all kinds of ideas of what this gadget would be. Well, I knew what it was because I watched Elliot Ness on The Untouchables. Anybody have an idea what that might be? Well, as the story continues, and I'm old enough to understand that a lot of these old cars had add-on fixtures to them. And so this little gate that we discovered was really an antique in Mary's garage. And it's a gate that you clamp onto the running board of an old car, and it contains a suitcase. You put a suitcase in it, so it's a gate, so you can stretch it out and so forth. So that's what this gadget was. It's an antique that bolts onto a running board of a real old 1930s car. So I suspect that probably Al Capone had that thing attached to his running board. Probably with a suitcase that had machine guns in it. I don't know. So you can stretch your imagination out quite a ways on this. But we all had a good time. We got to know each other a little bit better. And a lot of these things were salvageable. Some people, the books went someplace. And a lot of the tools and things that were kind of old and interesting. Little round weights that you slide into a scale that you stood on. The old farmers had these, and you put these little weights on an arm, and it balances them out to different kinds of weights. So we found those. So it was an interesting afternoon. And Mary had an 8-foot long cabinet that had 50-plus drawers in it, wooden drawers. And she said it came out of an old drugstore that they used for, obviously, putting, who knows, drugs and so forth in it. So we aren't sure why Mary had this. Whether she's storing stashes in it, I don't know. But anyway, it was huge. Didn't know what to do with it. Too big to put it in a truck. And Sid called the person who thought might be interested in it. They weren't interested in it. So we were left with the idea of maybe smashing this thing up and hauling it to someplace. We didn't know where, except back here at the church where we got our own garbage out here. We didn't need to add more litter to our own. But we came up with an idea. Let's push it to the back of the garage and it goes when the house sells. So we came up with a lot of ideas that, well, we can't get rid of it. Let's put it in the back, and when the house sells, it goes with the house. So anyway, to wrap it up, we enjoyed ourselves. And we had a good time, and I think we all did a good job in cleaning Mary's garage out. So it was a worthwhile experience. Thank you.